Welcome back to another Out of the Park 23 video. I'm going to continue doing just some more short-term sims, one-off videos of franchises. Today, I'm going to take a look at the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, I recently put out a video with the three teams I'm considering for Out of the Park 23. The Diamondbacks were not one of them. Big Ben, I believe was your name. There were numbers on the end too that I can't remember. Mentioned that I should consider the Diamondbacks because they're in an interesting spot, which I agree. And they're also one of the teams I pay the least attention to in the majors. Like, nothing personal, Arizona. It's just they're not a big market. They traded away a lot of their interesting players from the Goldschmidt era, and they're just kind of like there to me. But they do have like what I think is becoming an interesting roster. So I figured I'd play with them out of respect for the franchise that I don't follow as closely as other teams around MLB. So I've just kind of jumped in. Like I said, I don't know as much about their team as I do other teams around the league. But again, sometimes evaluating teams in Out of the Park is different than real life. Like my New York Mets sim, like there were certain guys that I traded and didn't think that highly of that in real life I would think much higher of, and vice versa, like Nimmo and McNeil. So just to kind of go through it, I think Carson Kelly is a totally fine catcher. He's in arbitration. And if he can be 10% above league average with the bat as a catcher, that's pretty outstanding. He's also a captain. Jose Herrera seems like a decent backup, actually. Christian Walker is our first baseman, former Orioles farmhand Christian Walker. I think he's fine. I don't think he necessarily is the answer. Seth Beer's just going to be a DH. Hopefully he can prove himself capable of being a major league player. I mean, it's a heavy burden to bear to be a DH. Your bat's got to be really good. We'll see. I'm actually going to go down it this way. Ketel Marte is obviously, cornerstone of the franchise. He's under contract till 2028. He's a star. He's great, and he's fun. Alcantara, I am not really sold on here as a third baseman. That defense looks really, really good. But I'm really not sold on the ground ball hitter with a 45 contact, 35 home run, and 50 avoid Ks. I don't know, man. Like, I'm more thinking this is a bench player. Perdomo, 81st prospect baseball. He's 22. I don't know if he's quite he's good enough, but I'd almost rather him be in the minors and play every day to get his position ratings up at second and third, and also maybe get some experience in the outfield to really make himself even more valuable, and maybe be like a super utility type guy. Because the 65 range at shortstop is fine, but he's not a world beater. We have Nick Ahmed on the IL, and he will be back, I think, in about a month. So I don't think I don't know. Maybe I'll give Perdomo a chance during that time. David Peralta is just not the same player he was a few years ago. He's on the last year of his deal. He's also blocking Alec Thompson, the number 42 prospect in baseball, from starting in our outfield. So I think probably I will try to deal Peralta and let Thomas have a crack at the everyday left field job. Dalton Varsho in center field is fine, but I would much rather him be the left or right fielder. And maybe Thomas can be right field and Varsho can be left. I think that'd be a really good defensive outfield. And I think maybe I can carry Varsho as my second catcher, but also a starting outfielder. He's a leader. He's a good player. He's a good player. Who I've known about for quite some time from a fantasy baseball dynasty league that I played in, where it's like 40-man rosters and 16 teams, I think. So you got to get prospects early, and I added him like several years ago to my team. Shout out Dalton. Pavin Smith, I think has some things to prove at the MLB level. I think he could potentially be the first baseman if we went with like a Thomas, Varsho in the corners and brought in a center fielder. and we could ship out Christian Walker and have Pavin Smith be our first baseman. And then we've got Seth Beer. Pitching staff, Zach Gallen was quite good in 2020, was not as good in 2021. I think he's a good rotation piece, though. Merrill Kelly, unfortunately, this is the pre-2022 Merrill Kelly. He's been on a roll in real life so far. But, I mean, he's a decent enough arm. Bumgarner's just making too much money. We need to trade him. I'm sorry if you guys are attached to him. I'd imagine you're probably not. You just signed him a few years ago. Luke Weaver, okay. Zach Davies, this rotation needs some work, and I don't know that it's going to happen this year. I see this as probably a 2 to 3 year project. I don't know if I'll put all that time in. I think the bullpen's fine. You got Melanson. Oops, I'm not trying to do that. This guy, Caleb Smith is decent. They're paying Ian Kennedy $4.75 million. I don't really know why. We'll probably try to trade him. And yeah, some other fine enough arms. Budget-wise, we don't have much. We have 3.8 and then none, and that's without a lot devoted to development or scouting. So I'd really like to free up some money ASAP. We do have the number 2 pick in the draft, which is cool. I'd like to free up some money ASAP to, one, get Bumgarner's contract off the books so we can go after a pitcher at some point, maybe in the offseason. I don't know if I'll play this multiple seasons. I'll play at least through this season and the offseason. And I'd also like to maybe get Peralta's contract off the books this year to be able to devote more to scouting and development. So before I started filming, I really just spent 5 minutes, 10 minutes maybe looking at trades. And let's see, what did I do again? I had a deal with the Tigers for a center fielder named Derek Hill that my assistant GM does not like, but he's a 70 arrive range and he's a captain. He's out for 4 weeks, but I don't know, man. This is I think a pretty good player to acquire to possibly play some center field. And then I found a team that is very interested in Madison Bumgarner, that being the Washington Nationals. I'm basically not getting anything back. I'm giving up a minor league, kind of like a depth piece in Wilmer there. Mantiply would be in my bullpen this year. So would Oliver Perez. So I'm weakening up my bullpen. And Ryan Nelson, I think, is a top 200 prospect. But he's 24. I'm okay. I'm okay letting him go to get rid of 60% of the Bumgarner deal. Logan Verrett will not be on my team. This guy looks like a halfway interesting bullpen prospect at 24. And then there was one more deal with the Mariners, who agreed to take on 6% of Peralta's contract. And I'd be getting back Abraham Toro, who I think is an interesting enough piece here. It's not, I'm not overly excited about it, but it's not a nothing guy. Same with Streifler here. We're giving up a little bit more here, I think. We're giving up our backup catcher, who's only 25. But, man, we've got Carson Kelly. We've got Dalton Varsho. He's got a poor attitude. I don't necessarily need this guy. It's not a make-or-break guy. Fairchild is just a fine minor league depth, AAA outfield piece. Weiss, I believe, is a top 200 prospect. He looks like he could be a serviceable major league arm. And then Chad Patrick is just a nobody for us. I mean, he's somebody. His family loves him dearly, and he also plays competitive baseball. He was drafted in the 4th round, for gosh sake. He's clearly very much somebody. But in this game, he's not in my plans. So, Patrick family, if you're watching, I think you're all great. So, let's just do these trades. Let's just do it. Again, I'm not going to, this is just a short-term fun sim. We're not going to overthink anything. We're going to go through and make these trades. So that's done. And then, who was the last team? Detroit. Oh, I didn't show you who I was giving up for this. Keone Keller is on a minor league deal, and he's out for 3 more months. I think he could be a piece of my bullpen at some point, but he's not going to be. Minor league depth arm, 26 years old. 26-year-old minor league depth arm. We're getting back Derek Hill, that outfielder, and then this guy who doesn't look like much, but they were willing to give him to us, so gives us some pitching depth back. And we will now have $22 million in budget space. And the players appreciate it. What does my owner want me to do? Close to 500. Okay, that's fine. So let's see. So we'll go ahead and put Toro and Hill on the active roster just for now. We still have 18 pitchers here. Bumgarner's gone. Tyler Gilbert comes into the rotation. Cool. And yeah, I mean, our bullpen looks like the same. You know, we're fine with all that. Lineup wise, of course, Peralta's gone, but let's see. Update depth charts and lineups. So he puts Varsho on the bench. Maybe that's because he has to be the backup catcher. I'm not going to control the lineup, so maybe I have to have a backup catcher up here, or else he's just going to ride Varsho on the pine. There's one way we can figure that out. Is that why Varsho is now on the bench? Like, we can go to our manager, we can go to sample lineup, and we can view with, if we call up, like, say, this guy. Yeah, okay, then he's got Varsho as the DH, which is fine. Oh, why is Seth Beer playing first base? I mean, first base defense doesn't really matter, but I would so much rather see, like, Smith at first base, Varsho in right field, and Beer at DH. That makes way more sense. So what do we need to do now? You know, shortstop, and of course Varsho's going to play in center until Hill's back, because he's going to miss. I mean, by the time the season starts, he's probably going to miss a couple weeks. So yeah, I think I thought maybe Toro would start here over Alcantara. I'm a little surprised that he's not. Maybe I just need to see what Alcantara can do defensively. If maybe he can make up for it. Yeah, maybe he'll make the team. My manager likes him as a starter. Yeah, I think I'll leave Perdomo here until Ahmed's back. I think that's fine. The 65 range is fine. So yeah, this might kind of be the offense that we rock with to open the season and see how it goes. It's not a good enough offense unless, like, Thomas has a breakout. I mean, Marte hopefully will be MVP level. Smith has a breakout. Yeah, there need to be multiple breakouts here for this offense to be okay. We're going to need to add some offense, and we're going to need to add some starting pitching. I think the bullpen is fine, but I think if we could add a starter, we'd really be set. You know, I'm not really sure what that looks like right now in terms of who we'd go after. You know, the rebuilding teams don't really have a lot of interesting pitching. The Rangers are definitely not rebuilding, but okay. You know, like a Dane Dunning extreme ground ball pitcher. I see someone we can even acquire. Oh, they only want like a top 100 prospect or my number one starter. That's all. I imagine they're the same on John Gray. Yeah, they're even less interested in getting rid of John Gray. So, Allard, they appear, but he's not really anything. He's not an upgrade over what we have. So yeah, I think we might kind of like enter this season with this team that I think can be decent and like hope for some breakouts, and then kind of make some trades as teams start putting like players on the trade block. Waivers we'll keep an eye on. You know, I don't know if this is the year for us. I think this is the year where we like figure out like, all right, Seth Beer, Alcantara, Perdomo, Thomas, Pavin Smith. Like, are you guys going to be part of this core moving forward? I think that's kind of what this year is about. We do have Corbin Carroll coming eventually. I don't think he's quite ready yet. I wish his range would go to 70. Jordan Lawler, I think, is not ready. I'm not even sure he's ready for high A. I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I might start him in A-ball. Alec Thomas will be there. Perdomo will be up to start. Bryce Jarvis, you know, I think this is a guy who could slot into our bullpen or fifth starter role. What's this guy's deal? Yeah, he's not ready. Seth Beers there. We got a catcher. Any other AAA guys? Yeah, he is a AAA guy. Like, this looks like they've got a lot of adequate talent in their system. It looks like to me, like just guys who are not like impact players, but are depth, and you're not totally screwed if you have a bunch of bad injuries. Yeah. So I think I'll just kind of like play ahead here some after I figure out how much I want to devote to my budget, and then we'll hop back in. But yeah, I think that's a good spot to play ahead a little bit more. Okay, now we're up to June 5th, which is when I scheduled the draft for. I like it better in June than July, so I reschedule the draft. None of that around the All-Star break stuff for me. No, sir. So we're 28 and 26, but we're in obviously a very competitive division with the Dodgers. We're not going to win the division. I don't see that happening. We're only a half game out of the last wild card spot, though. Wild card's going to have to be how we get in. I'll go down the team real quick before we go pick second overall in the draft. Cooper Hummel, we just called up because he's ripping up AAA, and he's been really good so far in very limited time. Seth Beer, I think I slighted him earlier in the video. He's off to a ripping start. Nick Ahmed has been on fire since coming back from injury. Toro was optioned for a bit, but is back up now and doing really well. Christian Walker, backup catcher's good. Ketel Marte's solid, but not spectacular by his standards. Alec Thomas, a solid rookie season. Pavin Smith is actually relegated to bench duty now. Varsho was hurt for a while. He missed like 6 weeks, I think, with a torn ankle ligament. He just came back. Carson Kelly has had a disappointing start. Josh Rojas, since he came back from injury, has not been good. Derek Hill has been just a disaster, but he's still starting in center field. He's really good defensively, but still a net negative player so far. Pitching staff-wise, let's see. Let's just look at it by WAR. You can see Melanson's been an absolute beast for us out of the bullpen. Clay Holmes, who I claimed off of waivers from the Yankees, is on pace for a 2.7 WAR season in 70 innings, so that's worked out well. I don't know if that 163 BABIP's going to continue. Starting wise, there you got Zach Gallen here. Pretty good ERA, good FIP minus. Zach Davies has been okay by FIP standards, not really by ERA. You can see here Merrill Kelly's gotten roughed up a lot. He's been really bad. Hopefully his home runs will come down a bit because that's a really high number. Clay Holmes, Tyler Holton. Yeah, so that's kind of the squad. We still have, so is it Bukauskas, I think? Sometimes I confuse him with the Pittsburgh pitcher. Is it Brubaker? Is it JT Brubaker? Am I making that up? Anyways, JB Bukauskas is in AAA. He'll be an addition to our pitching staff. And here, Jesus Lorenzo had started the season really well for us. He had a 3.72 ERA, largely fueled by a really good BABIP, but he's pitching pretty well. He's on a rehab assignment too. And Luke Weaver is out pretty much. He's out for the season. So that's why Tyler Gilbert and Caleb Smith are both in our rotation because our rotation's thin. There's not. I've looked around and there's really not a lot out there right now. I don't have a lot of trade chips beyond some of my prospects. I'm not ready to pull the trigger on a big trade like that yet. And then like trading block wise, there's really nobody out there other than Kenta Maeda, who's out 3 to 4 months, so he's basically out for the year. So yeah, I don't see any big trades happening yet for us. Let's see here. So, yeah. Sorry, I just had a sound on, then it went on. Need to mute it real quick. Yeah, so I don't really see us doing anything drastic right now because there's just not a lot out there on the trading block, not a lot out there when I shop players. Really hard to make trades for some reason at this point in the season. What would I look to upgrade? I don't know. Maybe like bring in a big bat for left field and just let Varsho in his 65 range play center. Maybe. We'll see how Abraham Toro does. He's been off to a really good start since we called him back up, but we could possibly use some help at third base. And, I don't know if Cooper Hummel is the answer in right field, although we have Christian Walker and Pavin Smith both on our bench. Walker does start at first base and Beer goes to DH against lefties. So we've got a platoon there. between Beer's in. He just switches between first base and DH, but between Hummel and Walker. So yeah, so that's how the squad's doing. Last thing, 8th in runs scored, 7th in runs allowed. Yeah, so let's go to the draft. We've got the 2nd overall pick. The Orioles pick first. Let's see who they pick. Elijah Green. Yeah, he's good. Or he could be really good. Our scouting director recommends... Who? I thought it was going to be like Drew Jones or who's the infield hitter? Hold on. Tamar Johnson, right? Yeah, there he is. Where's Drew Jones? Does my scout think Drew Jones is bad? Oh, he's down here at a 45. Who's the mock draft says we're going to pick? Tamar Johnson. Robert Moore. Is that the guy my guy just recommended? Yeah. So Big Game Bob wants us to reach a little for him. I don't know. I'm not very excited about that. He's 2 to 3 years older than the other guys out there. I mean, Tamar Johnson, his range isn't great for second base, but I mean, that bat could be really good. He could also play corner outfield. You know, who's this guy? I'm not familiar. Okay. You know, I'm really partial to Drew Jones. You know, biased by real life, obviously. But his 70 range, let me compare him to Justin Crawford. So their contact potential is the same. A little more gap power, a little more home run power for Drew. Much better eye potential for Justin Crawford, and avoid Ks a little better. So contact, they're the same. Significant advantage in home run power and a decent advantage in avoid Ks. The former for Jones, the latter for Crawford. Crawford's a better base runner. They've both got that coveted 70 range. Much better arm for Drew Jones. Drew Jones could also maybe play a little, like he could maybe play like second or third in a pinch. He's also got a really good fielding rating at pitching. He doesn't have like, no, okay. Yeah, I mean, Justin Crawford is also like $10 million cheaper. But yeah, I think I'm going to go with Drew Jones, just like real life bias causing me to make that pick. Cool. Let's do it, Drew. Draft him. Nice. Who's Texas going to take? Okay, Tamar Johnson. So that's a pretty expected top 3. So our next pick is at the first round. What? Yeah, okay. Why isn't it telling me like the overall pick? So it's 4th. So it's 34th overall. 34th overall. Oh, the current round is 20 rounds total. Right. That was throwing me off. Okay, our scouting director is recommending Jared Lewis, a high school shortstop who's got low work ethic, which I don't love. Don't I have like I think I have like a draft default here. Yeah, here we go. Here's a guy with high intelligence but low work ethic. Come on, man. Easy to be right, difficult to be wise. I don't think I've noticed that little tidbit before. Who's this guy? Yeah. .65 outfield range here. High work ethic and intelligence. Here's 21 though. I don't think his ceiling was that high. Let's look at pitchers. What is this guy? Why is he listed as a pitcher too? I don't know. Oh, because I selected batters. I was like, what? All right. Here's a college pitcher who's decently developed. Yeah, no pitchers jumping off the page at me here. Yeah, we're going hitter here. Let's see who's the best. Oh, let's make sure there's not like a. No, there's no beast hitter who's a beast pitcher. Like hitter who's a beast pitcher. So who's like the? Is there like a really good pure contact guy left? A Marion Boyd. Low work ethic. Sorry, man. Can't do it. Can't draft you this early if, you know, your commitment to baseball is questionable. I don't mind this guy. Who was the other guy? I guess the other guy I was just deciding between. I guess he got picked. The other center fielder or whatever. What was his name? I feel like I'll know it if I see it. Was it Justin Crawford? Yeah, I think it was this guy. So he got drafted 30th overall to the Giants. Damn, he just went. That would have been awesome to have gotten him too. Gotten the two guys I was deciding between second overall. So this is like the only pure center fielder left. Just looking to see if there's like a guy who has good range and is a good hitter, but there's not a lot other than that guy who has the low work ethic. All right, all batters. So this is, yeah. It's a decent player. Is there like a huge power bat out here? Oh boy, 35 contact potential. I can't do that, man. Dang, low work ethic on that guy. We got high intelligence, low work ethic here. He's adaptable. His arm isn't good enough for third base, though. Ooh, I don't mind this guy. He's got the high intelligence. He's not a leader. I don't care if he's not a leader. Not a great arm for third base. I think he's basically a first baseman and could like... I think he could play the corners, but not every day. I don't think you want him out in left or right or third every day, but I think he could play him. I really like his power bat. I kind of like this guy. Yeah, I'm going to draft this guy. We're going ceiling here. And Ethan Petrie could be a monster of a home run hitter. And look how far under slot he wants. He only wants $360,000. It's a $3.5 million or $3 million slot. Yeah, we're going with him. All right, do a couple more picks here. Scouting director recommends Jared Lewis. Isn't this who recommended last time? Yeah, I don't mind this guy. I don't like the low work ethic. Yeah, I don't mind him, but I really don't like the low work ethic. But I'll think about it. I don't just want to draft another corner infielder after I just did that. It's another guy. A bunch of guys limited to first base here. All right, let's look for who's the best contact hitter left. Tucker Biven or Biven. Yeah, let's draft this guy. I like his contact potential. I think he might be able to play second base. It's way under slot. Man, still wants me to take Jared Lewis. All right, fine. I'll take Jared Lewis, dude. You happy? High school shortstop. Yeah, this guy's been out there for a while. He's got a decent hit tool, but what's going on with the pitchers here? Oh, look at this guy. Is this a sleeper hitter? Yeah, he's pretty good, but he doesn't really have a defensive home. How about this guy? Pretty good bat. That's a pretty good bat, man. I don't know. I'd kind of like to draft a pitcher who's a pitcher if I'm going pitcher at this point, because I haven't drafted any. Not that you need to necessarily focus on position early in the draft. Just want to take the best player. 29? I think we might have found a bug. Yeah, these pitchers suck. This pitching class sucks. I don't mind this high work ethic, high intelligence, but I don't really want to take him. So if I say who's the best pitcher, my scout tells me it's Trey Dombrowski. Gross. Man, this is just not a pitcher draft. Yeah, I'm actually okay with this guy. Low work ethic, but high intelligence. Hopefully that sorts itself out. All right. We'll do one more pick here. Who's do you want me to take here? Jared Beck, a left-handed. I'm sorry. He's 7 foot tall, 225 pounds. I think I have to draft him just on principle. He's got low work ethic and intelligence, but he's 7 foot tall. We've got to take him. There's no doubt we're taking this guy. Sorry I didn't see you sooner, Jared. Might have taken you second overall. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to let the scout do the rest of the draft. This isn't a long-term sim, so I'm not worried about getting into the nitty-gritty. But I'll go forward some more here. All right, we're now a day before the trade deadline. We've slipped a bit here. We're 10-13 in July, and we got hot to get to 10-13. You can see we won 4 in a row, like 6 of 7. We had some pretty big injuries, a couple big injuries. Ketel Marte has been out since June 29th. Also, so he's been out for a month. Also, there's probably background noise now. Sorry about that. Laundry had to be started at the house, and where I record is not far from the laundry room, so you're just going to hear it. And Alec Thomas went out as well, and he's on a rehab assignment. So, Marte and Thomas going down, plus with the fact that I think we were kind of playing a little over our heads to begin with. I think that just kind of caught up with us, and I suppose we're not like out of it, right? But we're 4.5 out, and there's another team between us. I could go for it here, but I just don't know what going for it looks like. I've tried to make like some major league trades in like trying to deal away Christian Walker, who's having a fine season in a part-time role, trying to trade him away for like other major league pieces. I've looked at trying to trade away Clay Holmes, who like is having an outstanding relief season, and I can't get, if I absorb all of his salary, I can't get a single prospect for him. And I didn't look at major league players for him. I did for other guys like Walker. There was nothing really. Melanson is having a really good season. I know he's got a decent amount of money there, but nothing being offered for him. Merrill Kelly has just been a disaster, and I can't get anything for him, obviously. I did bring in Sonny Gray back on June 20th. So, I made that move. He really hasn't done very well. 5.82 ERA, 5.94 FIP. His home runs have skyrocketed. So what did we give up? We gave up Pavin Smith, who really behind like Beer and Walker, and he just didn't have a spot on our team, and he was kind of the centerpiece of what the Twins wanted. Gave up some other okay pitchers. Sal Frank, Jameson, and Rice are all just kind of like minor league filler guys. The one guy, Blake Walston, he's just 21 and looks like if he could be okay, but he's an A-ball. So, yeah, that was the one trade I've made, and I've tried to make other trades and just can't find anything. Like, it's just really, like I said, I can't get a single offer for some players who I think would be valuable bench or bullpen pieces for contenders. I did then go looking like maybe I can bring in a third baseman. And Devers is having an awful year. He's actually negative WAR. And the Red Sox are like very open to dealing him. But they're so they would pretty much do it straight up, I think, for Yanni Hernandez. Yeah. Yanni Hernandez, I think this is probably a trade I should make. I was kind of interested, since he's just 24 and he's so cheap, of giving him a pretty big role on my team the rest of the season, because I think maybe he's underperforming because he's angry. This trade kind of seems like a no-brainer. I was trying to find a way to do it without Hernandez because I'm just find him intriguing, but I can't. Now Devers, is not a very good third baseman. Out of the park wise, real life wise, like just some question marks there. He's due $12 million in arbitration next year, and that's his last year. So we basically get a year and a half of Devers, who's just 25, for Hernandez. That seems like a no-brainer and probably just a trade I should make. So that's the one thing I did find. And again, they really like Yanni Hernandez. If you saw the guys, they put him on a level with Ketel Marte and Alec Thomas and Yanni Hernandez are the three guys in my organization they're willing to trade straight up for Devers. Which kind of leads me to think I just need to shop him around real quick to make sure there's not a better player. Well, I don't know, a better trade out there, right? Is everybody in love with Yanni Hernandez, or is it just the Red Sox? See, they don't put him here. They don't have him here. Yeah, I mean, Andrew Vaughn, positionally I'm not interested, but yeah, I mean, there's some pretty decent players here. Certainly nobody of Devers quality that I'm seeing so far. I mean, yeah, it's pretty clear he's got some trade value. Third base is definitely a need for me. We don't really have a plan for third base moving forward. I mean, Toro is fine, but I think pretty clearly Rafael Devers is an upgrade. Now, the one thing is Devers is having a terrible season. He's much more expensive than Hernandez. He's only under team control for another season and a half. And the computer seems to have soured on him. I mean, these positional ratings are a little too finicky. But the fact that Devers is all the way down to the 17th best third baseman in the league, all those things give me a little bit of pause, but not enough where I'm not going to bring in Rafael Devers, right? How will they give me a really good? Oh, they'll give me an awesome prospect with him too. I mean, Jeter Downs isn't an awesome prospect; he's a good prospect. Okay, let's see what we can get away with here. I have the trade difficulty all the way up, by the way, and the trades have been really hard. This is the first one where I'm like, wait, what? What's happening? You're willing to give me what? I mean, that 17-year-old looks outstanding. What's this guy? I mean, guys, like I said, I think this is a combination of things. One, Devers is having a terrible year, and two, they see Yanni Hernandez as equivalent to Ketel Marte or Alec Thomas, which is just crazy town. But they really like him. Yeah, this just got interesting. I realized I was gonna be able to get a legit prospect too. Maybe I should. I'm just really surprised here. 24 at A-ball, no thank you. So what about on their current roster? Are there any holes I could fill? Jackie Bradley is their center fielder. I don't know that he's much help to us. Eovaldi would be interesting, but he's a free agent after the year. We can't afford him. Can Garrett Whitlock be a starter in this? Quite possibly. I want to do that. Oh, get out of here. Is Tyone any good? They got him from the Yanks, I guess. It's a free agent after the year. Is Pivetta a free agent? No, arbitration. Having a pretty good year. So they will put in Pivetta, who I think there's one thing I'm lacking. It's starters, man. But so does that take the place of a prospect, or can I totally fleece them and still get Nick York? Oh, no. Okay, no, they're not okay with that. Jeter Downs, they're somewhat open to. I don't know. There's some guys who I'd rather not trade. I just can't. I mean, I know Nick York doesn't really have a positional home with 45 infield and outfield range. Like, there's really not an ideal place to put him. But this bat is really good, and he's only 20. Oh, I thought they were willing to do that. No? Okay. Oh, it was this guy. It was this guy. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I want somebody this far away. You know, I think we're looking to win sooner than that. I know I've looked at these guys already, just kind of refreshing my memory. Yeah, Jeter Downs is not having a good year, and he is 24 in AA, struggling. Can I get like 2 guys? Like, what do you think if I want this guy too? Oh my gosh, they will do all of this. This is insane. I almost feel bad. I almost feel like this is like gimmicky, but like, I mean, I don't know why they love Yanni Hernandez. Like, if this was Ketel Marte going back, would it be crazy? It's only a year and a half of Devers of team control, and he's doing terrible. And then 2 prospects. You know, Downs is a decent prospect. And guys like this, you know, you'll see 17-year-olds with these kind of ratings like get ranked as top 100 prospects out of the park. That doesn't happen in real life. Like, 17-year-olds are so far away. Other than, I mean, there are the rare exceptions, right? Like Jason Dominguez from the Yankees was a really high prospect early. But, like, guys that are 17, 18 are who came out of, like, the international market are not generally ranked as top prospects right away. I mean, I think I'm going to do it and not feel bad about it because the trades have been so hard to make in this sim with the difficulty up all the way. I think I have it up all the way. Maybe it's 1 below? What do they say if I bump it up to the highest? We're getting closer. Yeah, I mean, every other trade I've made has felt very fair. I think what I've just stumbled upon here is not necessarily like an AI glitch or gaming the AI. I think it's them wanting Devers out of town and loving Yanni Hernandez more than anybody has ever loved anyone. Find you somebody who loves you. Find somebody who loves you the way the Boston Red Sox love Yanni Hernandez. We're going to do this trade. It's done. It's done. We did it. We brought in Rafael Devers. The fans are excited. I think we have to send somebody down now because Yanni wasn't up, which is probably a pretty easy decision, I think. Yeah, Perdomo has just not been good, but he's young. He's got time. So now we'll bring up Rafael Devers, our new third baseman. So, yeah, I mean, you know, this is not like necessarily a win now for this year. You know, I don't know if we can win this year with the, you know, Marte's still out. Pitching staff is a little thin. But Devers is under team control for next year. That's what's really important about this deal. It's a little bit like the Reds in real life. That year they were out of it, but they kind of set themselves up for the following season. I think it was the year they brought in Bauer a few seasons ago. So that's kind of how what I see this as here. I don't know if there's going to be any more trades because I've tried to shop around every player who I think might have value and just like nobody wants anybody. So let's see if Devers made it into town in time to play against Atlanta here. He did. He got subbed for? Well, oh, a defensive sub, I guess. Yeah, he didn't get tossed or anything or hurt. He went yard in the 4th inning. He hit a 2-run homer. Good job, Mr. Devers. Davies went 4 1/3, a shutout ball, and then our bullpen took over. This guy's been really good. Tommy Henry's 25. I need a lefty, so I called him up, and he's been really good. The BABIP won't stay that low. But, you know, now I think it's about giving some time to some guys who might be part of my team next year. Hey, look at this international free agent I signed that immediately become the best prospect in baseball. That's what I'm talking about. Like, 16-year-old would never be named the number one prospect in baseball. They would never project. A 16-year-old would never be projected for this ceiling in such certainty. So Carroll's having a bad year. Lawler's hurt and having a bad year. But Jarvis, the number 57 prospect in baseball, having a great year in AAA. We're going to get him some innings. Blake Workman came back from an injury and is pitching in AAA, number 76 prospect. We're going to get him some innings. We called up Tommy Henry. I think Brandon Platt having a good year in AAA. We're going to get him some innings. So we're going to make room for 3 guys. Lorenzo has options. He's an easy demotion to make room. Oh, okay. He does not have options. I apologize. All right, well, we're DFAing a few guys. Noe Ramirez, a right-handed specialist. Get out of here. We don't need him anymore. Merrill Kelly has made 19 starts, has an 8.02 ERA and a 6.71 FIP. He's put up negative .9 WAR in 19 starts. He's getting DFA'd, which is unfortunate because I thought he could be like a back end of the rotation piece for us. So who goes out next? I kind of like Lorenzo's arm. You're out of like everybody in this bullpen's out of option years. Uketa has been solid enough, I think. Yeah, I think even though this guy's well respected by his teammates, I want to make room for some of these youngsters. So we're gonna call up Workman, basically the top 3 starters here. They're all top 200 prospects. A couple more are top 100, and we're gonna see what they're working with the rest of the year. Because we want to compete next year, and if they prove that they can be part of that, they'll have the inside track on a roster spot. I wanna see what they can do. So let's see what the manager likes. So Holton goes into the rotation. Really, that's surprising that he goes in over some of the young guys I just called up. So Workman becomes a setup. Jarvis and is it Fad? They both become long relievers. So I think that's a good way to break them in. I wouldn't mind seeing one of them in the rotation though, over Holton. But here we are. So yeah, man, I think that's all. I think that's all we're gonna do. Because I'm actually curious to see, where did Boston put Hernandez? Like batting leadoff or what? Yeah, they did. He's their starting third baseman batting leadoff. That's amazing. That's fantastic. I didn't realize he was up for me for 6 games and put up a 427 WRC plus. That's awesome. Ground ball hitter. Yeah, man. I mean, good luck to him. I hope he does well. Who's their shortstop? David Hamilton? Okay. Fair enough. Is Xander not with them anymore? Is he hurt? Oh, Xander's hurt. Got it. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I can shop around like Christian Walker one more time. Shop player. I'll retain 100%. I'll retain his entire salary, and I just want a single prospect of any position. Nothing. Yep. All right. So yeah, that's going to be our team. We're going to make some moves with this $23 million that we have for next season. We'll probably shed some more payroll so we can go out and possibly like add a big arm. Add a big arm is what we're going to do. I really feel with like Marte, with Marte, Beer, and Devers in the middle of our lineup, like Varsho here, I feel like we've got a decent offense. We probably want to bring in like a top of the order bat because this guy filling in. Oh, I did send down the center fielder I got from the Tigers because he was doing so poorly. His negative WAR finally drove me off of his range. I think some of these guys are just kind of auditioning for next season, but I think we'll need to bring in an outfield bat for sure. Alec Thomas and Varsho, I think, are pretty good in the outfield, but we'll be in the market for a legit center fielder and some pitching will be my guess for what I end up doing. All right, so let's go ahead and go ahead some more. See you after this cut. All right, we're at the end of the season. We missed the postseason by a game. We've made a run at it. We won our last 7, went 9-1 in our last 10. We finished 84-78. Given that I think we were predicted for 66 wins, I believe. Let's double check that. We were predicted for 68 wins. I'm sorry. We got 84. I'm calling the season a success, especially considering what we dealt with down the stretch, man. Injuries, and they're brutal because they bleed into next season. Sonny Gray tore his rotator cuff. He's out 8 to 9 months. So that's what? June-ish, right? November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June would be 8 months. You can see here, Luke Weaver, he had a setback and he's out another 9 months. Probably just going to end up non-tendering him. So he won't be back for a rotation next year. Ketel Marte tore his PCL and he's out for 8 months. So Sonny Gray, our number 1 starter. Ketel Marte, our best player, our one true superstar, I'd say. They're both out until next June. And then Seth Beer broke his kneecap. He only missed like the last week. He'll be back next year. He definitely cooled off as the season went on, but still kind of established himself as somebody that I should not talk trash about. So he's got that going for him, which is nice. So yeah, that's brutal. Missing Gray and Marte till like next June is just, man, that's tough. But here we go. Juan Yapes, who I brought in from the Cardinals. In what trade was that? When I got rid of Ian Kennedy. Yeah, so he came up and was really good in limited playing time. Josh Rojas was excellent for us as a utility infielder who ended up playing a lot more because of the Marte injury, the Ahmed injury. Jake McCarthy, who I just kind of brought up as like an extra outfielder, but he just like hit a bunch. So he's in the mix for next year. Devers was outstanding for us. A 140 WRC plus, 2 WAR in 58 games. He went yard 18 times in 58 games. It looks like maybe we got the real Rafael Devers. Yanni Hernandez, how'd he do? He was like league average for them as their leadoff hitter. Alec Thomas was just hurt a bunch. He ended up with 409 plate appearances, was fine. Backup catcher was surprisingly good. Toro was league average. Walker was good, but he's expendable. Ahmed missed a bunch of time hurt, but played great defense and was fine at the plate. Varsho, bit of a disappointing season from him. I don't know that he is a position locked down coming into next year. Carson Kelly, down year from him. Hummel was bad. Kennedy just came up at the end of the year. Didn't really have a fair shot. Pitching side of things, if we just look by... let's look at FIP minus. This guy, Brandon Pfaadt, he pitched poorly, according to FIP. Let's go this order way, actually. Good news. So Blake Workman was unbelievably good when he came up. He's a back-end fixture in our bullpen next year. Melanson, Holmes, excellent. Tommy Henry was just crazy good for us in 65 innings. 2.03 ERA plus, a 68 FIP minus. Honestly, a guy I just called up, which I thought was going to be like for a week or two to give myself another lefty in the bullpen while I needed one because of injury, and he established himself. He won Rookie of the Month 1 month. Corbin Martin came up and made 5 starts for us at the end of the year and was excellent. 2.81 ERA. Junior Fernandez, Uketa, Gallen, Holton, all those guys were above league average in terms of FIP minus. Better than league average, I should say. Davies was about league average. Lorenzo Mejia, nothing special. Caleb Smith struggled in terms of FIP, not as much as in terms of ERA. Bryce Jarvis and Pfaadt both struggled mightily in terms of FIP, but were better in terms of ERA. Let's see. Down on the farm, Corbin Carroll had a bad season. Jordan Lawler had a miserably bad season. This guy hit really well, but he's a catcher who kind of sucks defensively. Maybe he'll be a trade chip for us. Yeah, so this guy pitched pretty well in Double-A. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have some decisions here. Let's go ahead and start simming, and I'll tell you what those decisions are. You can kind of watch the postseason happen. Ryan Mountcastle led the AL in RBI. That's cool. Correa led in WAR, and Soto in the NL. So yeah, I mean, I think the Marte and Gray injuries definitely. I don't know. Like, do I plan around that? I don't know. I think I was already going to need starting pitching, and I don't know that I'm going to bring in like somebody to replace Marte at second base for just 2 months, especially, like somebody like Rojas, I think, has proven himself completely capable of filling in for that amount of time. I think it's still more about like center field and starting pitching here in this offseason for us. I was thinking about Sonny Gray. He's got an option here. It's like $14 million, considering Dodgers beat the White Sox in the World Series. Considering, he's in his early 30s and he's going to be a free agent 1 year. Yeah, I think I've still got a. My guy wants me to upgrade over Devers at third base. I normally turn off owner goals. I guess I just forgot to. We had a staff member retire. Who? Our first base coach. Oh, that's okay. All right, cool. Our new budget. All right. Top prospect list. We still got the number one prospect in baseball. We're going to have some money to spend, and I'm hoping to get myself even more money to spend. Man, Lawler and Carroll both climbed up the ranks even though they sucked last year. And then Del Castillo continues to climb up. What's interesting is that Drew Jones is not a top prospect, even though he's one of the top prospects in the draft. And we drafted him second overall. Fair enough. So I think we have some contract year decisions to make. Yeah, so Zach Davies, $1.5 million. I mean, he pitched well for us, honestly. Like, the FIP was right about league average. The ERA wasn't terrible. Yeah, I mean, I think this is a guy you bring back for $1.5 million. Sonny Gray's is a $12 million option, which I think I'll do, but I'm just wondering, like, what's he say if I want? So, okay. Yeah, I mean, you got to pick up the option to get to that. He won't, like, renegotiate that. Yeah, let's bring him back to. And arbitration-wise, we got 1 million guys for arbitration. I'm also going to probably release some guys. Some guys who are on the 40-man are out of options and might not make the team. Gonna re-sign some of these minor league free agents. So I'll do that and come back like when free agency is starting here, and we'll go through the offseason. All right, it's early January. We've had what I would call wildly successful offseason. The headline would certainly be that we signed Aaron Nola, who's coming off an average season with the Phillies, which, isn't great. But he's 29. He'll be 30 in June. He was not the best pitcher, but he was basically the only. I think he was the second best pitcher on the market, maybe starter. But he was the only one I could get on a halfway reasonable contract. He was willing to take a lot less this year, which was nice because I have not a lot of budget room, as we'll get to. Not a lot of budget room left. So it was a 4-year, $100 million deal, which I think is fine. It's definitely backloaded, which might not be ideal, but as he ages. But we'll see how that goes. I mean, I'm not going to play this out. But, if I was doing a Diamondback sim, would I have done this deal? I don't know. These $31 million there, that's really expensive. But I might have. I just might have been in screw it mode and just been like, let's win this season. So we brought in Nola. Then we also brought in Michael Conforto, who actually didn't play in 2022. He was signed, but then was hurt. He signed with the Dodgers, but he never got healthy. The injury isn't listed. Wait, where? Oh, he had shoulder surgery and missed 6 to 7 months. So, yeah, he missed the whole year. So, he'll come in and play in the outfield for us. We had some needs in the outfield. So, we signed him. Then we, hold please, also signed Kevin Kiermeier. Oh, the Conforto deal was, I think it was just 1 year. Yeah, 1 year, $4.5 million. Pretty low risk. Then we signed Kevin Kiermeier. This was not a 1 year deal. This was a 4-year deal. Basically, it's a 2-year, $9 million deal. He wanted the 4-year deal with a player option on the last one. I got him to agree to a team option on the 3rd year. So with basically a $1 million buyout. So it's a 4-year, $22.4 million deal, but I think it's actually a 2-year, $9 million deal. He can play elite defense. He is fine offensively, but curiously, his zone rating was only 1.1 last year, which was a little curious, a little low compared to what you would expect a guy with 70 outfield range to put up in center field. But hopefully that was just a down year. He'll bounce back. He's a Gold Glove caliber center fielder. So those are the main guys. I'm actually looking at this, and I don't know who this guy is. Who is this guy? I got him on a trade with Detroit. Oh, I bet he's somebody I just added to my 40-man. I bet I just added him to my 40-man. And then now my manager at the Rule 5 draft, now my manager thinks he's like second best guy in my bullpen. Okay, cool. I'd really like to find a way. So, Gray will miss some of the season, obviously. But Nola, Gray, Gowan is a pretty good top 3. Marte will miss some of the season, which sucks. But, still to have Thomas, Conforto, Beard, Devers in the lineup. I hate the 4 lefties stacked there. That's terrible. Mix Marte up here a little bit and push one of these righties up a little bit. Goodness. We'll be okay though. I don't love this lineup. What do we do against lefties? All right. Yeah, but the issue now is money. We've got 7.1 million left, but oh, look at my season tickets going up 84%. I forgot to raise the prices. Oh well. Yeah, so I lowered the scouting budget. But also, as you know, I play with $0 draft budget and $0 international free agent, so I'm not hamstrung by that money. And then I just save that money I just make sure I have that budget room left. And I didn't do that here. I mean, I knew I wasn't doing it. I did it intentionally because I figured out on the back end, I'll figure out how to spend this or how to get the spending down. One of my ideas is to so here's the 54th best prospect in baseball, Adrian Del Castillo. He hit very well in AA last year as a 22-year-old catcher, but he doesn't have a defensive home, I don't think. 40 infield range, 40 outfield range, 45 catcher ability. I just don't think this is a guy with a defensive home, and maybe his bat could become better. But as of now, you can see he's been improving. His reports have been getting better. But as of now, his bat is not good enough to DH. So I was thinking maybe I could find a way to package him with Mark Melancon and his $6 million salary and just see if anything comes our way. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. So the Orioles are willing to take on Melancon's $6 million salary in order to get Del Castillo. That makes sense. The team with Adley Rutschman. You got J.D. Mundy. Yeah. I think Hunter Haskin is the most interesting guy here. He was, a second-round pick for the O's, I think? Yeah, second-round pick in 2020. I think he's easily the most interesting guy here. I am curious if we could also get some cash from them. So 2.5 million they are not down to give me. Let's half that. What do you say? No? All right. What about if we just ask for 800,000. Oh, oops, I accidentally had 80,000. I hate how you have to have them, like, you have to have them not agree to the trade to be able to change the cash amount. He's not sure. So it doesn't look like they're willing to give us much cash, but no. So basically, how about $69,000? All right, cool. I know they won't do 80, but we'll do 69. So we'll improve by 6.069 million to 13 million. That basically gets us to the point where we have enough for our draft slots and our draft slot amounts and the international free agent. So I'm curious if like I can add another salary to this deal. So who else might we want to pawn off on them? We got Melanson. I mean, Kelly, I think, is going to have a bounce back. You know, his strikeout and walk rates weren't all that different. He still hit for power. His BABIP was 216, and he's a career 241 BABIP guy. He was 270 and 250 the last 2 years, so I think he's going to bounce back. I suppose I could try to free up like 2.1 million here. Either Walker or Smith would be kind of them to take. Let's see. They need time to think about it with Christian Walker. I'll take out the 69 million. Okay, so they don't necessarily do that. And who was the pitcher again? I'll know when I see it. Yeah, like I said, I'll definitely remember when I see it. Who was that dude? Smith, right? Where is he? Where are you, sir? Caleb Smith, right? That's who we're looking for? I'm sure you guys are like, dude, you've passed him 5 times. Oh, there he is. All right. Okay, so they'll take Caleb Smith, which frees up another 2.15 million. That gives us 15 million to work with. Now, leaves us hurting in the bullpen a little bit, although Melanson is only in middle relief for us. But I'm curious if the Orioles... I mean, you're not going to give me DL Hall, right? Nah. Like, how much more? Like, not that much more? I didn't expect them to even consider this. How bad were his walks last year? Ooh, not good. He's got control issues. He's the number 15 prospect in baseball now. So they want pretty good players, but I think this one right here is worth it. Even so, Juan Yapes was my first baseman who came up. He's 24. He came up from AAA and just ripped the cover off the ball in 41 games. But dude, if I can get one of the top pitching prospects in baseball, like, I'm into it. I don't know why Mike Elias is agreeing to this. I wonder if we can get another pitcher from them, like Dean Kramer. Nah, they don't want to do that. Drew Rom. No. Dylan Tate. They will do Tate. Am I interested in Tate? Oh, yeah. Extreme ground ball with that movement. Let's make him 1.1 mil. I thought he was going to be making the minimum. Yeah, I don't think I need him. I can get guys making the minimum who I think can be just as good. I don't need your extreme fly ball. And I'd also like you to retain DL Hall's salary. How do you feel about that? Oh, they feel good about that. Okay. Man, I kind of feel like I'm fleecing them here. Poor Orioles. Can I get some cash from you too? I don't actually want a door. I just want you to say no so then I can edit the cash. Can we get that amount of money from you? Okay, cool. So can I get like way more money from you? Now that we've added, are you like in love with Yapes possibly? Like, let's go 1 million. Okay, no, they don't like that. Oh, 500,000 though. So we're going to improve our budget by 9.35 million. Now we're giving up number 54 prospect in baseball. We're giving up a guy who can pitch in the back end of the bullpen and put up a 2 WAR last year in 57 innings. Good reliever. We're giving up Caleb Smith, who was effective reliever last year with a 4.62 ERA. Oh, starter. He was a starter for me. Pardon me. So he'll be in their rotation. And then Yapes, I mean, maybe I'll regret this, but I'd rather have the young pitcher with promise than the young guy who could basically just play first base. Yeah, we've already got Seth Beer to do that, and Christian Walker if we hold on to him. So let's do this trade. I think that's an excellent trade for us. We'll come and put DL Hall on the roster. I wonder where they'll put him. Yeah, he's going to be our setup man. He's a lefty. Yeah, dude. I love that. I love everything about the moves we just made. And so Yapes was against lefties he was playing. So now Beer is just going to go in and play first base against lefties and righties. That's fine. He was quite good. So I wonder now if we can get rid of Christian Walker's salary. Any team interested in him? Hello? No? What if I say I retain 100% just to identify teams that might like him, and then we can try to chip that percentage down? Wow, no. Okay. So, all right. Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. Well, does Christian Walker have any options left? I don't think so. No. Okay. And what are the what are the Orioles gonna do with those guys that they got? I wonder. They're not here yet. Here, let's see. Like Melanson. Will Melanson be their closer? No, setup. Caleb Smith is their number 3 starter. Is Yapes here? Yeah, Yapes is their cleanup hitter. Wow, they really like him. Cleanup hitter, everyday cleanup hitter, and everyday first baseman. And Mountcastle goes to DH. And then the other guy, I guess, is probably just in the minors still. Yeah, they haven't figured that out yet. Okay, cool. Well, oops, no, I want to go to my team. So yeah, so now I've got 16 million in cap space, which is basically the 9 and 5 is 14 cap space. You know what I mean? Budget room. You know, I'd still love to create some more room because this doesn't really give me the ability to make trades and bring in salary. Now, where would I do that? I don't know. Probably should have signed just one of these guys, not both. Maybe there. You know, Centeno had a very good year for me. I guess I could gain what, like 600,000 in cap space if I brought in a catcher who was on making the minimum. Yeah. Maybe I could offer up Walker with a prospect. Like, let's look at our prospects. And I would need to be able to do more than just shed his $2 million to go to a decent prospect. I need cash coming back too. Like, where did he pitch last year? AAA. Yeah, he's a decent pitcher. Like a round 5 pick from last year. Recently drafted. No. We don't play that way. I forgot to do this rule. So I like trading recently drafted players to be the next off season is what I set it at, and I guess I forgot to do that. So is anybody interested in Walker? Christian Walker is toxic, y'all. All right, we've identified a team. All right. Oh, St. Louis can't do it because they're over budget. Oh, so they're definitely not going to be able to give us cash. All right. Well, for now, we're going to stick with this. You know, maybe we'll just go underslot at the draft. Maybe we'll be able to... Oh, I'm on the Orioles. I was like, why do I only have $4 million in budget room? You know, maybe I can go underslot at the draft or figure out other things. I could always, you know, I guess, like, lower this if I wanted to, but I'd rather not. But I think, like, that might kind of wrap up our off season. I'm not going to spend any more money. You know, I wish I had more an established vet or two in this bullpen, but we can get by. We can get by without it. Yeah, we can get by. There's the Nola signing. What other big signings took place? There were a few. Segura went to Boston's 5 years, $72 million. Abreu, Diaz, blah, blah, blah. JD Martinez from San Francisco. Rizzo went to Houston for 5 years. Josh Bell to Cincinnati. Xander Bogaerts to the Cubs. Judge to the Red Sox, 6 years, $87 million. Correa back to Houston, 7 years, $250 million. Brandon Belt to the Yankees on a 4-year deal. Joey Gallo re-signed with the Yankees on a 4-year deal. Rodon went to the Yankees. Man, the Yankees spent a lot of money. So this is a pretty similar one to the deal Nola signed. It's just even across the years. Nola, it was like $2 million more a year on average. But yeah, man, that'll do it. So I guess I'll just go up like to the see what the preseason predictions say for us, and we'll probably call it a session there. All right, so we're at opening day 2023 now, and you can see we're predicted for 85 wins, and this would be a game behind the Phillies for the last wild card spot. Isn't that how it ended? Excuse me, burp there. Ended last season too. Didn't we finish a game behind somebody? I think it was the Phillies. That'd be funny. So yeah, 68 wins was prediction last year. We won 84. 85 is prediction this year. I did open up some more budget space, but my owner also upped the budget space by, I think it's about 6 or 7 million. I think it was 8 million actually at the start of the preseason. I was like, man, that would have been nice to have to sign like a number 4 or 5 starter. I was in talks with Corey Kluber and had to break it off because I was out of money, man. And then he signed elsewhere before you gave me the increase. Huge increase projected in attendance. Huge increase. Look at this. And looking to possibly increase the budget for next year too. So that's nice. Team remains the same, I think, of what you guys saw. Kelly at catcher, Beer, Rojas filling in until Marte's back from injury. Alcantara is starting at third base and Devers is DH, which is weird. I would much rather Devers be at third and Alec Thomas be at DH, or, Varsho or Conforto. But Devers isn't a great third baseman. I get it. I'm fine with it. As long as he mashes, it's fine. This is what he wants to stick around, which I think is a deal. I would definitely give him this deal if I was playing out this sim. Like, no doubt. 4 years and only 19.5 per year. Yeah, dude, sign me up. Absolutely. Alcantara. And then Nick Ahmed, he's on the last year of his deal too. That's a tougher call at 33. The 70 range is nice, but I don't know about 4 years. I think we could probably get him down to 2. Then Varsho, Kiermeier, Conforto across the outfield. I really wish Alec Thomas was playing over Varsho or over Alcantara. Devers is DH. Pitching side of things, of course, we're missing number 2 starter Sonny Gray, but we've got Nola, Gowan. Corbin Martin is our number 3 starter, which is surprising to me, but he pitched well in 5 starts last year, 2.81 ERA after he came up. Zach Davies, Tommy Henry, who pitched so well for us last year with the 2.19 ERA across 65 innings. We've got DL Hall, Blake Workman, and Uketa across the back end of our bullpen. Then Yaya, Clay Holmes is back, and then a couple younger arms. Brandon Fatt, Holden's a little older, 26, and Bryce Jarvis, 25. Some younger guys. Our farm system is number 1 in baseball. Man, Yaya jumped to the 17th best prospect. Dude, this guy was nowhere. He was a throw-in. Yeah, look, his scouting has gotten way better. His velocity has gone way up. Man, okay. Jordan Lawler, and then some guys outside the top 100. I'm pretty sure that Out of the Park only ranks the farm system based off of the top 100s, I believe, is correct. Drew Jones still, for some reason, not rated in the top 200 prospects. Blaze Alexander might make some noise this year. He had a decent year last year. Jeter Downs in AA. But, yeah, so that's the team. That's the video. This was fun to do, to get a little more familiar with the Diamondbacks. I think they'd be competitive for a while. I think we could keep this team competitive for a while. I think we'd build, we'd re-sign Devers. We'd figure out shortstop. Sonny Gray wants almost no money to come back, which kind of worries me that he's coming back from torn rotator cuff. His scouting has decreased, and he wants like no money to re-sign. That's concerning. We'll see how that goes. I don't know if I probably won't play this out, but yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. The next video is when I'll talk to you again. Bye.